Okay, so identity issues. Yeah, I don't know. I've started this video like 5 times already, and I'd never know where to begin with it. I really don't. Um, it's something I've struggled with for a long, long time. I don't know. I started dyeing my hair when I was 12, I think. I always dyed before that, but my mum wouldn't let me. And then for Christmas, got a packet of hair dye and dyed my hair orange, and it was great. Fucking loved it. And I didn't really stop. My hair has been such a fucking issue for me my whole life. I don't know if it was the Samson and Delilah story that stuck with me or what, but yeah, my biggest strength and my biggest weakness all in one. But yeah, I don't know, so I don't know, I never really had a problem with my hair when I was a kid. You know, it was long and it used to hang in rat's tails and it was so fucking thick. My mum hated it. I think drove her mad, absolutely mad with it. It was so scratty, but I loved it, you know, it was alright. And I don't know if it was, I don't know if it was being bullied at school that made me dislike myself. I don't know. I know that I've had a lot of the symptoms that I experience now I've had since I was 6. It's the earliest I can remember anyway. There were problems with anorexia, and just lots of emotional turmoil, I think, and yeah. So I don't know. Forget where I was going. Surprise. But yeah, you know, someone messaged me. I can't remember if I posted the video on Tumblr or what, but someone messaged me saying to me, you know, how do you deal with it? How do I learn to like my hair the way that it is? And hair seems to be like a really big deal for us. I don't know if it's more for women. I don't know that many guys with BPD in real life, to be honest, so I don't know. Most of them just have really long metal hair from what I can remember, but yeah, we do see, I suppose, for women it's very symbolic. Hair is very symbolic. I remember giving myself a Mohican when I was 15. Thought it was the coolest thing ever. I wanted to be like Phil Anselmo. And my hair was down past my shoulders and blonde, quite pretty. And I'd shaved the sides of it with a Bic and hid it from my mum for 3 days. And well, I didn't even hide it, to be fair. I just wore it down for 3 days. The first day I wore a hat, that's the day she fucking clocked it. Typical. But yeah, and she was fucking horrified. Absolutely horrified. I think it made her feel physically sick, and it was because she'd seen this film when she was younger. What the fuck is it? Always forget it. Anyway, it's about this woman who's a school teacher, I think, or something. She starts having an affair with a married man. Can't quite remember, but all the women in the town, it's like set a long, long time ago, obviously. And all the women in this town, like, lynch this woman and shave her head with sheep shears in the town centre as punishment, which is pretty harsh. But my mum was fucking hysterical over it, so yeah, me shaving my head probably wasn't such a good thing. But it is, you know, if you have like long flowing locks, then it's a sign of femininity, you know, and it's seen as attractive. If you have short hair, you're seen as strong, and you know, and it's, I don't know, I suppose we use it a lot to shape our personalities. You know, you break up with someone, end of a relationship, the first thing you do a lot of the time is go out and have a makeover, you know, reinvent yourself, show that you're a new person and you can do whatever the fuck you want, you know. So there seems to be a lot of like symbolism wrapped up in hair, I think. Maybe that's what the big deal is. You know, I always kind of feel like It's kind of like, you know, I like the blonde, but I don't feel blonde right now, you know. I used to have woolen braids in my hair, and they were massive, and they were down to my ankles, literally down to my ankles most of the time. And I had different colours, and different colours would evoke different kind of personas in me. You know, with the red, I was banned from having red hair for a long time, because it made me angry, made me want to fight everybody. I had bright pink that would make me really bubbly and kind of hippie-like, you know, but also a little bit punk, you know. And then there was the blonde, and the blonde could go one way or the other. It could either make me a really strong, sort of like badass bitch, or it could make me a complete dumbass, you know. And I don't know why that is, because they're very stereotypical sort of things that you associate with colour. You know, pink is very girly and red is very angry, and like if I had black hair, I was such a fucking goth. Such a goth. Christ. I was so fucking miserable. So miserable. And that's the thing, I have the urge at the moment to dye it black. And I know it's asking for trouble. So, yeah, red seemed kind of like a compromise. Yeah. But yeah, someone messaged me asking me, like, how do I learn to like my hair as it is? You know, and she's got really short, I assume it's a she. Didn't ask. But yeah, they've got really short hair apparently, and they figure it's easier that way. But I don't know, but then what do you do when you've got no hair to fuck about with? You know? You need to, like, aesthetically change your personality, and you've got no hair to play with, you know. I used to wear a lot of makeup when I had a skinhead. I used to wear a lot of makeup and hats. I liked hats a lot. Wigs are cool as fuck. I do like wigs. But yeah, I don't know, but I think, like I said to them I said I'm probably not the best person to ask about this, you know. But it was like, I don't know, I didn't really like myself until I put the wool in my hair, and then all of a sudden I had long hair and it was beautiful. And it built my self-esteem a massive amount. Like, I didn't give a fuck for ages. And then it got to the point where I was like, but this isn't me. Do you know what I mean? I want to be comfortable in my own skin. I want to be accepting of myself as I am. And I worked really hard at it. My mum, she has a habit of, when she's really down and depressed, she won't look in the mirror. She hates what she sees, so she just won't look in it, you know. And I never really spent a lot of time looking in the mirror, because I didn't like it. I didn't like what I saw half the time. Or I didn't recognise who I saw, or I didn't feel right. The more I could see of myself, like, the less I liked myself. And then I learned to take selfies. Someone was like, oh, take a selfie. And I was like, no, I don't want to put photos of my face anywhere. That's like, no. But then I got good at it. And I learnt my angles, and I learnt what lighting works, and, you know, and yeah, it made me feel a bit better. But my mum, I think, like, I'd started wearing makeup again, and false eyelashes and shit, and it was like a self-soothe thing for me. Like, when I was really stressed out and feeling shitty, I'd sit myself in front of the mirror and put loads of makeup on and make myself look pretty. And if I couldn't make myself look pretty, I'd make myself look like a zombie or something, you know. And it was so good. I spent like months just looking like a dead person, blood in my hair and everything. It was fucking amazing. I miss those days, you know. But yeah, and like, I'd got the mirror down and I'd put it on my bed, and I couldn't be bothered to hang it back up again because I was depressed and lazy. You know, so I ended up sitting there with this mirror next to me for a few days, and I'd mentioned it to my mum, and I'd said it was quite fun, really, because I was on my own a lot of the time, and there were a lot of voices in my head, you know, and I hadn't quite sussed out what was going on with all the personalities in my head, and all that shit. Like, I didn't really know what was going on. So yeah, and it gave me someone. It was kind of like this. I could talk to myself, and like work stuff through and that, and just sit and watch a movie together. It was kind of sad, but also pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I'm not bad company, and I think that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, for a lot of us with BPD in particular, like, we like, I don't know, I suppose I have BPD and I have schizotypal traits, and some of the schizotypal traits are like, I can't deal with people a lot. I have to limit the time that I spend with people, and I do like spending time on my own. But at that time, like, I felt like I was the worst company in the world, but I was so fucking lonely. I had people around me, but I was so fucking lonely. And it was good just to have that there. So there was like a visual someone else, but there was no like interaction necessary. I think my favourite friends at that time were ones that just used to come and sit in my room and drink with me and not say a fucking word. It was amazing. But anyway, my mum had said about the whole thing with mirrors. I'm rambling so much. My mum had said this thing about the mirrors, and I'd said maybe that's where we're going wrong. Maybe we need to learn to see ourselves like properly, because I have this image of myself in my head, but then I'll take photos and it will be really pretty. It will be a really pretty photo, and I'll be like, well, that's definitely me because it's a photo, and I definitely look pretty, at least from that angle. So like, maybe I need to focus on those angles and learn to fucking like myself. So I did. I would spend quality time with myself in the mirror. Like, I would sit there and I would inspect my face, and I would learn to appreciate it in an aesthetic manner. Do you know what I mean? And like, I always hated my nose. I hated my fucking profile. I love it now. Like, if I had a straight nose and it was little and my chin wasn't so big, I don't know. It'd be really fucking plain and boring. Probably wouldn't make as good a zombie. I look pretty scary when I'm all pasted up. I don't know. Yeah, and I think that's it. And I used to see this thing, like, I spend a lot of time on Facebook when I'm depressed. Who doesn't? And or Tumblr. I spend a lot of time on Tumblr. And I'll scroll through, and the same sort of meme or the same quote or something will keep coming up. And like, there were a couple. One of them was, you are who you are when you're alone. And the other was, what was the other? To look at yourself as you would a friend. And they kept coming up, and I was like, well, maybe that's it. Maybe the reason I don't know who I am is because I haven't spent enough time on my own. I've fought against it. Whenever I've been alone, it's terrified me because I've been left to deal with myself, and I'm horrible company sometimes, But like, yeah, I thought maybe if I could get used to being on my own, I'd know who I was, And I thought about all the friends that I had that could be really fucking annoying sometimes, that had a lot of bad qualities. Train. Yeah, I thought about all the friends I had and all the horrible little things about them that could make them a really terrible person. But that was just it. It didn't make them a terrible person. I loved them regardless. They were my friends, and I liked them, and they were funny little things about them. There were quirks, and like, yeah, some of it was really fucking obnoxious, but that was them, and I liked them anyway. I maybe didn't like that about them, but I liked them as a person, and I was like, why can't I see myself like that? Why am I so fucking hard on myself? Like, I hate on myself for so much stuff. And a lot of it is stuff that's not even my fault. Like the way that I fucking look. It's not my fault. I can't hate myself for being funny looking. It's just who I am. I can't do anything about it. I can learn my angles and put a load of filters on photos, but this is me, do you know what I mean? And I'm fucking horrible to me. I wouldn't be that mean to a friend. I have friends that actually look a lot like me and I think they're stunning. So why do I hate myself so much? You know, so I thought, fuck it, you know, I'm gonna have some quality time to myself, and I'm not gonna come out of it until I've sorted it out. And my mum gave me 3 months. She sat me down and she said to me that, she said, you've got 3 months. She said, I will give you 3 months. I will take care of Devin, you know, I will take care of everything. You take care of you. You know, if you want to come see us, if you're up to coming see us, come see us. You know, and if you want to call, then call. But I will not call you. You can just get on with doing what you need to do to get better. And that was like one of the greatest gifts she ever gave me, I think. Was just that 3 months off to just focus on my shit. And I took myself off and I did a lot of crazy shit. But I got so much out of my system and I learned so much about myself, and I learned that I was a cool person, you know? Like, I may be really fucked up. I was so fucked up. But I had friends that stood by me regardless. You know, I had people that were there for me. I had people that would take me out and get me fucked if that was what I needed. I had people that wouldn't fucking judge me for anything, you know? They taught me not to judge myself quite so harshly. You know? I don't know. So yeah. I read this thing a little while ago. I bitched about it on one of these videos because I thought it'd make me feel better or give me something to talk about, and it actually just pissed me off. But it was about like having an unstable identity, and the reason this causes such an issue, apparently. Oh, my ass is hurting. The reason this is such an issue is that apparently when you have a stable sense of self, you can build self-esteem on that. You know who you are, and you know what that means, and so you can build self-esteem on that. When you have an unstable sense of identity, you're constantly fluctuating, so you don't have a solid foundation to build that self-esteem on, you know. And I think that's the thing as well, is that I didn't find a single personality. I went on this big old search for myself, and I found that there are many selves, you know, and each one of them can be a pain in the arse, you know, but they have a lot going for them, you know, and they've each been there when I've needed them most, you know. And yeah, I learned to like all of them. I learned to love all of them. I wouldn't be without any of them. Like, one of my friends said to me recently, he said, you know, would you ever consider, like, integration? Can't you do that, where, like, you sort of integrate those broken parts of yourself back into a whole you? And I was like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to be one person when I can be many? It's like, why would I want 10 fingers? I might as well cut like 9 of them off. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, as I am, I can be anything that I want to be, anyone that I want to be. All I've got to do is pick a new fucking wardrobe, you know? I like my many selves, each and every one of them. Some of them cause me so much stress, but the funny thing is that those voices that used to shout at me and hate on me and just make me feel so fucking terrified of being on my own, do you know what I mean? Like, they don't do that anymore, you know? We get along, we communicate, and when they start shouting, I know it's out of frustration, and I know I need to sit down and think about what they're saying and look at why they're saying it, you know? I think we spend so much time fighting against everything that we are, and trying to fit into this idea of what's normal, or at least acceptable to others, you know, and we're ruining ourselves in the process, you know? Just because we have more of something doesn't make us less. How does that make us less? You know, we tell people all the time, you know, not being able to do something doesn't make you less worthy of being a human being. Do you know what I mean? But if you've got too much or too many of something, do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Why should we strive so hard to be what we're not? I don't get it. It really bothers me. I feel like if instead of being taught ways to fit in with everyone else, we were taught ways to use what we have. You know? Like, it's to me, it's all a matter of interpretation. You know? Some people see being highly empathetic as something that makes you angsty and emotional and hard to deal with, and others see it as you being a healer that just needs to learn to hone their talents. You know, like, I'm aware a lot of the time of what is a symptom and what is a not even a genuine response. Like I will understand what is reasonable in that situation, but I will recognise that I am experiencing symptoms in quite an intense manner, so there must be a reason for that. You know, if I'm getting really fucking super stressed out because my boyfriend looked at me in a certain way, then I need to look at why him looking at me in that way would bother me so much. He simply just looked at me, and it wasn't really a dirty look or anything. I maybe misinterpreted it, you know, and why am I already feeling sensitive? What has he done today? What have I done today that I feel is wrong? Do you know what I mean? And I'll work back and I'll figure out what it is, and then I'll address it. And that works for me, you know. And my symptoms are a lot less because of it. You know, going with the flow and just learning to recognise triggers and stuff like that, and accepting it sometimes. A lot of the time it's all about accepting stuff. It's like, okay, this is how I feel right now. I've got like many choices here. I can either sit and ride it out, I can do things that have been proven to maybe help in the past on occasion, or I can try something different. I can self-soothe. I can dye my fucking hair. I can just embrace the fact that I feel like a dirty goth today and wear all black to college. Do you know what I mean? And if I feel differently tomorrow, then so what? You know? Life is not boring. It's very rarely boring. There's always some fucking issue. But that's cool, you know. I had meds once made me normal. For like 2 weeks. I was on them for 4 weeks altogether. But for 2 weeks of that, they made me feel so fucking normal. And I hated it. I hated it. As much as I hate my disorder at times, and as much as the symptoms can drive me literally crazy, I don't hate being this way. I don't hate being me. You know? Who else would I want to be? Oh, you know, I've got a few to pick from. And that's the beauty of it. I don't need no boxes. I'm a law unto myself. Fuck it. That probably didn't answer any questions at all. And this lipstick looks fucking terrible on the camera. I don't even care. I feel good today. Yeah.